Today is November 9th, live harmonic trading on a Monday. Let's get to it really quick. I'm going to be going right to 9:30 and jumping out. Way too many things happening for me, folks. I'm extremely busy. I've been trading pretty much since yesterday, trading the cryptos. I'll get into that. And listen, there's pretty much the same group. Sometimes we have a little bit more. Once in a while, not, a little less, but all in all, you got a few dozen traders that flow in and out of here at these live sessions, and all of you are serious. So I want to just really relate something really quick, 1 minute of kind of expertise and experience. That market tends to go through times where I like to say the window opens. You get aggressive trading, you get phenomenal action, and this is one of those times. So if there was ever a time to hunker down and really get into it, this is going to be a lot like the February, March, April time period. I think it's going to be compressed even more tightly into the next month, maybe 6 weeks. And so, just take a quick look at where we are second week in November. We will be going pretty hard at it. And you just look at something like the NASDAQ in the pre-market this morning. That was up several hundred, then rolled over and gave back 400. Now we're plus 100 in the pre-market, but that thing was plus 300. I mean, it was all the way up there remarkably. Take a look at the 12.4 and change, and then lost it all, 450 points. So there's a lot of action going on. You see these kind of moves. There's more to come. I think today is, today, tomorrow, all of these are going to be pretty intensive sessions. So let's get into it. Tomorrow we'll be here. I'll even open up, probably want to start 5 minutes early. So I'm going to open up 55. Now, what do we do with this NASDAQ? It was plus, as I said, 300, 400, 350, that is. And we have been targeting this big pattern forever. This was the ultimate target. We got the HSI on the 4-hour time frame late last week with the check back right there, right at the close on Friday. I mean, it's really tough to enter a position over the weekend, and this could have dropped a couple hundred and we missed the trade. But look at it this way. We're now up there and we are at the hop, almost hit the hop exactly. Here's that first trigger, and this is how we should really kind of scope it out. We look at the price bar, we look at the check back sign here, the price bar that hits that, and then just encompass whatever that extreme level is. All of that's really tight, right around 12,100. So again, I want to enforce a couple levels. 12,100 is the primary one. We're trading 12,175 right now. The other one is this hop level up here at 12,465. And take a look at what our indicators are doing. And so this is actually going to complete probably in the next hour, maybe by 2 o'clock today with the next 4-hour bar. You got a few of these where we are about to trigger that second HSI. Usually when you see that second HSI, there's not going to be a check back on it. Here's where the check back occurs. All right, so we're looking here, and this is a major 4-hour chart, major pattern that has been, really ping-ponging off of levels in an ideal fashion since the early October. So going back this last month, and now we've got perfect triple confirmation bearish. So we have to navigate and get through this whole area. If we've got triple confirmation, okay, and all three of them are rolled over, HSI is going to trigger up here. This price bar actually is critical because the peak there, what's that, about 12,380? 12,383 to be exact, 12,383.50. Would not be surprised to see this come back and do a final check back. This is going to trigger, again, the close. It's a bearish candlestick is right here, but HSI will trigger, because look, there's the reading. We just haven't closed on the interval. The whole point is we're early. Now we have the second, it's a second HSI level. As I said, a lot of times that second level doesn't get checked back. I mean, this is kind of an example of it. There's the first one. There's a second one. Kind of an immediate follow through. Did come back a little bit later, but again, all of this, the point is we're close. We're early in the process, but our levels are pretty clear. If this thing's going to be a massive breakout, blowout right now, because I mean, look at S&P is plus 160 in the pre-market. That's up 4.5%. Those are massive moves, massive. It's not something I'm going to get right in front of on the short side, but we're getting close. I mean, listen, 12,465. Even in this early stage here, where we're up in a secondary retest, okay, a little bit of consolidation within these rather large swings. I mean, that's a 500-point move right there in that last 4-hour bar. Plenty of trading opportunities here. Look, NASDAQ is now plus 90. Let's go to the 5-minute level. There you go. There's a 5-minute. And here's our last HSI. Our last 5-minute is a bullish reading. So let's identify some support and resistance. Maybe around 1275 just for the open here. And we're about, what, 21 minutes to the open. Again, NASDAQ's plus 85. With the prior high and prior HSI readings, just really kind of narrowed down a couple of levels for the open. Around 12.4, 12.380 would be, if we get a surge back up after the open, that's a critical check back on the 4-hour chart. So again, tomorrow is probably will be pretty clear of what this is going to do. We're about to trigger. It's still early, but again, this is lined up in an ideal fashion. This is to relate this, say, from what we were assessing on the target 2 down here. We're probably somewhere in here checking back before we did the big move up. And again, if we're going to break out and just blow this whole zone and do a massive year-end rally, it'll be above that 12,465. Call it anything above 12.5. The thing is gone. I would love to be able to get a nice little pullback opportunity. Maybe we get something up here that triggers today, get a little pullback, then we go. We are 2 of 2. And again, I'm not ignoring what our standard expectations should be at that pattern of the type 2. Take a look. Final note. Remember what I was saying last week on NASDAQ of what this was, what was setting up here relative to HSI on the 4-hour, or excuse me, on the weekly chart. And this is this check back. Okay, there's that pink arrow. And I'll show the indicator in a second, but this follow through, let me clean up these other illustrations I have. The follow through of this week after the massive blast off last week sets us up for, potentially a fairly strong breakout. There's the prior all-time high right there, going back from August at about 12.4. What was that? 12.480, 12.465. What we know with Harmonic Strength Index is that this is a fairly strong high level HSI continuation point. And until we get to the bearish extreme, this thing's still moving higher. Where are we on that? So check out the weekly. Weekly is just cracking the 50 level. That's got some room to go. Our expectation is for that to still trend higher until we hit the extreme. That can move quite a distance. There's only 2 levels. We talked a few levels here on NASDAQ. 12,100. That's immediate resistance. Okay, 12,460. That's your make or break. And then if we bust above there, The only thing that we're really looking at is about 13.5, 13.6. Take it in chunks. But certainly this is strong. We've been looking for the 4-hour return, and we got it. Hold on one sec. Let me hit the, let's keep the microphones muted. Thank you. So just realize where we are in all of this. There's a couple of individual opportunities I'll circle back to in a second. I want to blast through a few other markets. Here's S&P plus 155, folks. 155. I've been doing this a long, long time. A long time. That's enormous. That is, that's kind of like what happened with, the last presidential election. There was a big sell-off and then a massive reversal continuation where this seemed like a lot on a one-day basis, but what it's doing is annihilating all your resistance considerations. And let me bring up what this is projecting here on the software. Now we've got this deep crab off of that immediate low, but with something as strong as that, I'll look at the hop level 37.11. To short is a good day to short the NDX. It's a great day to trade the NDX, but again, we're talking about how strong this is. The pre-market NDX, as I started today's session, and you can, if you came in late, check out the recordings on the Gold member page. But what I'm saying is right now we still have some major targets. Here's S&P hitting the zone. Again, the other thing is that this is a clear PRZ. What's the terminal bar doing? It's blasting through that entire zone, 4.5%. That means something. At a minimum, I'm going to ride that trend line up to the hop level and, target this. Don't be surprised that goes 37.11 today because this is so hot. And I forget what the lock limit up is on S&P, but you got to be getting close. 37.11, that's a big target for S&P. Yeah, 5%, but 5% from where? 5% from the close from Friday? Or how do we, I haven't looked at what's the cutoff from Sunday night. Like NASDAQ went lock limit down. So that lost 5% and then just flipped back open and jumped right up about, went down 450 and then back up 160. So again, this is a trader's market. I'm not, if I'm looking to play anything like stocks, sure, I'm been buying stocks. You guys know that. I've been buying a lot of stocks. I've been playing options. I'm going to be playing a lot more options. And I am playing options with, 1 month, maybe 2-month expirations out into January. Because everything that they're going to do, all the big moves, this is going to kind of become obvious in the next several sessions, especially from us. How high is this going to go? Is this going to hit a wall at 13.6? Is whatever. I mean, short term is pointing up and that you're not fighting that. Let's go to gold quickly. Here's another one that we have not fought, and I think it's a good move. Gold down 75 in the pre-market, folks. That's big. Now, we were targeting 1865. Take a look. Here's our, let me bring up the crab pattern. 1865 was retested last week. Let me remove that big bat. And I'm still favoring as low as the hop level. I was able to get, I just clicked out an email right before we started today's session. So do look at that update with at least a half dozen charts, new charts in there, some on gold that kind of highlight what's going on. 1865 still the targeted level, and I wouldn't be surprised. This doesn't freak me out too much that it's down 75. I think it's an opportunity, but I would love to see it between 65 and 36. The hop level here, okay, is critical. That's our critical make or break. I could see this be tested in really short order, and then we do our continuation. Yeah, I'm still bullish on gold, daily, weekly time frame, but as we have discussed within this consolidation since August, okay, we're just looking for the signal. We're looking for bullish pattern, HSI. We do have a daily reading here like that, right around that 1850. So let's look at it closer to that 3550 level. 1865 was a minimum for us. There was a big rally, almost 100, or yeah, it was 100 off of that. Now we're right back there. Okay, I'm not too concerned, but we're getting closer. Certainly, gold's something you want to size up for that next leg higher. Much like Nasdaq. Again, these are intertwined, and these markets are definitely moving now. It's going to be like that. It's a fairly accelerated trend line. We're just going to bang against that. Look at that, as low as that 1850 level. That's our entry for the continuation. We'll get back to that tomorrow. FX pairs, no problem. That's actually in the email. Let's look at the one we've been featuring. This is one of a few. But here's that British pound Aussie pair. Go to the 4-hour chart, folks. Remember, this is two patterns at once. All right, let me go back. We were at the bearish level here, up at around 185. Recall, that was that type 2 bat. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But there's the first test, came down to our target. We anticipated the secondary test, which is what we got. And then bring it back. The other main one was this butterfly. So that one came all the way down. Recall, we were targeting minimum a 180 level, 180.76. Why? Because this is a type 2. There's our first reaction. Right down to target 1, came back, bang. So 2 or 3 things there that were critical. Now we're down there at a consideration point of wanting to capture this. Okay, and I think that's almost done. I was potentially looking at this because we have this bat pattern with target 2 as low as 178. Okay, that's still in play. Look at your trend line. But now for the bullish side of this. And we could flip back and look for this as a long position against these bearish patterns. If we're going to park ourselves at 179 on Aussie, pound Aussie here, check out what we have. Here's the bullish bat pattern with a couple of hops right around 179. And we have this little HSI that triggered. So our target, our big target was 178 on that from last week and a half. Now we're back down. We're hitting those targets. Okay, maybe we'll pop that to say 179, 179.20 as a potential long for this thing to come back up. With my whole point being, this looks like it's just banging between the pattern zones. Here you go. Bring up the bearish now. You've got enough there for a couple of patterns. You're here at 2 of 2. Okay, there's a secondary reversal. We're not there. It's still early, but looking maybe towards these hop levels at around, again, 179 for just another return move back up to 184. Really simple. I also showed this last week of look at where we are in the daily weekly. Okay. So pretty far off that prior high. We do have, I did mention that this daily level had an HSI up there. If you look at where we are now on the daily, we're actually probably a day away from triggering a bullish level. So again, that's been something we have followed for, I would say, at least 2 weeks. And now we have an opportunity to flip that, close out that bearish trade, and let's see if we go bullish on the next daily signal. That might be by Thursday. But again, British pound, Aussie, for a move back up to 184, I think is from pattern to pattern, not a bad play. Let's look for the trigger in a day, 2 days. That's one of a couple. Let's look at, let me see here. Well, let's look at dollar index. We haven't looked at that in a while. Hold on. There you go. Go to the weekly, and let me bring up that pattern. We've got about 7-8 minutes, folks. I am going to be out of here right at the top of that hour. So, sorry, right before the open. So do let me know. You have any other things you guys want to look at? Dollar index, the thing I wanted to show was this weekly HSI trigger that's getting retested, and I don't think it's going to really hold in. Here we are, we're week like 8 past that. There's the trigger, the exact check back. It's so tight. Really like 92.50. This is a sign of potential early failure, and I want to keep an eye on it because look, dollar index continues to roll over and go lower. That's bullish for stocks. I think everyone knows that. But from just a straight up perspective of looking for pairs that I want to favor, if I want to go weak dollar and look for pairs like euro or British pound against the dollar, this is going to help. If we break down under that 92 level and we fail this, this could go a lot further because check out where we are. Remember the crab pattern. Remember these larger levels that we have really looked at since we started this 3 years ago. Take a look at 90, 90.12 as the next potential breakdown point. This is a type 2 here. We didn't get confirmation on in this area, which that kind of bothers me. We had a check back of that last reading. That's that helps. Would have been fantastic if we came up even a little bit higher. We fell just shy. It's another signal on a long-term level that this is just a reactive move, but still down. So dollar index is still going to go down. The dollar pairs still lower until we get back down to target 1. We're currency pairs have a real tendency to go be range bound within long patterns like this. I mean, we've seen this in a number of different situations. Here's one more. I've shown this previously. Okay, this is dollar yen. You go to quarterly or monthly, you're going back 20 years. This kind of thing is really no coincidence. Okay, there's a massive crab on the quarterly chart. We're not really doing anything, and over the course of the last several years, this has formed a fairly dangerous lower high, lower low pattern where this will give, and this will give under the 100 point. I brought this up before, and I've kind of alluded to the fact that maybe eventually we do come all the way down to the hop. That just from what we know about the pattern itself, the larger signal won't happen until we hit the hop at 72. Just something to think about. Here's another way to look at it. Go to the 60-minute chart here on dollar yen, okay, and look for nice couple patterns here, but look for some bearish stuff, just continuation signals. You could even just isolate it, take off all the bullish patterns. Just look for pullbacks like we're seeing here. We're back up here around the 105 level, retesting this ABCD resistance. There you go. And I think I mentioned this like a month ago. This pair specifically, look for rallies in this thing, and even if it's a 60-minute or 4-hour HSI bearish signals, use that. Trigger off of that. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. Well, I'll come back to this tomorrow. I don't want to waste too much time on it, but I do think this is a specific strategy to favor clear downtrend, clear major patterns pointing us lower. If we're, we're clearly on the edge of breaking down under 102, that thing should really start to go. And this is just another pop and roll. Let's look at that. Let's look at that tomorrow, because that probably set up. And again, mostly bearish patterns on the dollar yen here. Yeah, there's a 30-minute. You got 1, 2, 3 about to trigger here, a little bit higher, all around 105. That's a nice one. I would look at that for today, dollar yen, because it's bounced almost 200 pips. And yeah, that prior bat, that matters too. And that hop level is what? 104.82. Wait for HSI to trigger. That'll probably trigger in about 3 minutes, maybe top of the hour, 10 a.m. So that's what I'm going to do for currency pairs. We will get into more of those. Let's jump over to NASDAQ. Look, what's NASDAQ going to do today? Up, down. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into what that lock limit thing was. I think this thing's about to burst. And I mean higher here. And check out what HSI is doing on the 30-minute. Okay. We're about to trigger 1, 2, almost 3, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Ain't bad. It's a song, by the way. Some of you got that reference. But check out what's going on the 30-minute. Okay, you got a complex reading after that major dump. HSI, all right. HSI will trigger on this bar like that. And so that gives us some support. Maybe a check back at around what, 112, 144? Yeah, I think so. And I'm targeting, folks, look, use the hop level. I'm looking for this thing to come back up to 12,256 minimum, if not higher. This is my target area. And the 4-hour chart, if we really blow off and we do reach for it, which I think we could do, look for the hop at 465. Right now, I'm targeting that a little smidge higher. 30-minute chart. Look at this hop level here. I go back to what do we have? Anything on the 5-minute? About 30 seconds to the open. Nothing yet. Let me look at the tick chart. Wait, hold on. Would help if I set this other one here. I've got nothing right now. Let's hang in here. Okay, we just opened. We're plus 125 on the day. And let me go to the 1-minute chart. Nothing just yet, and I know I got to run. Yeah, let me keep it there. I'm going to run, folks. I've got some major positions exploding. I'll get into them tomorrow. You have any questions, send me an email. It's going to be a hell of a day. So do reach out to me, Harmonic Trader at Harmonic Trader. If anyone's in here, you're not with the software. I don't care if it's TradingView or any of them. You want to try them for free, send me an email, Harmonic Trader at Harmonic Trader. I'll set you up. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m., folks. Have a great day. Go get them. We'll see you tomorrow.